Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I guess it is now. I can hear the church bells ringing, so I know it's noon. So I'm Jodie Harvala. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual teacher, space clear. I love to clear spaces as well. And we are together today for our 31 days of spirit for the entire month. Each day has a brand new subject that we're talking about that helps you understand how spirit works with you, how you can work with spirit, how your team works, angels, all that kind of stuff. Each day we're doing something new and giving you a little bite of what maybe some exercises that you can do or how to connect with your spirit. So everyone that's jumping on, say hi so I know you're here and you can hear me and see me and all that good stuff. Let's see. I know, I love the church bells as well. Me too. All right, hold on one second. My little thing that I wrote did not come through. Hold on. Let you guys jump on. Hold on. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I've always loved it. I really keep track of my day by those church bells because I live right next to a church, and so I hear it hourly, which I actually really like. Okay, not sure if you guys will see the link right off the bat, but I'll make sure it goes into the comments once I'm complete too. All right, there we go. Okay, hello, hello. Yay, Ryan, that's awesome. You made it. Aubrey, Chandel, Cindy, Alice, Dana, Carla, Jen. Hello, hello, hello. Miss Marilyn, saw you pop on. So just remember, if you see any weird people jump in on our lives, please ignore them if they're asking you for money or they're saying, oh, I have such a message for you. Please be my friend. Don't do that. They're scammers and trolls. We don't give them a ton of energy. It's not worth it. Just try to block them. I try to keep my eye over there too. So I can block them if I see them. But we were pretty lucky the last couple of days. We haven't had any. So we'll see. Maybe the angels are watching out for us a little bit today on that piece. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, greetings. Hello, hello. All right, so today is actually a fun subject to talk about, and I would bet, boy, my glasses are so dirty. Hold on a second. I keep seeing spots. We are going to talk about your intuition and your body and how your body often knows the answer before you do. How many of you can feel... like I know you're emotional feelers, but how many of you can sometimes feel or recognize or think that spirit also talks to you through your body? So I'm definitely that kind of girl. When I first got into this work, doing it more and more, I actually had a lot of pain in my body, and I didn't realize it was because I was taking on other people's energy and I wasn't doing anything with it. I was just taking it on and I was holding it. And if I don't have a good expression, I'm not moving my body, I'm not walking. Basically, if I'm not taking care of myself, my body will tell me, and it doesn't waste time. It's on it. So this was an interesting subject to me for a long time. And I think that it's fun to talk about. Not everyone thinks it's fun to talk about, but once you start to understanding a little bit more, I think it's fascinating. Okay. Alice, not sure what all the aches and pains and feelings in my body are caused by what. Yeah, and sometimes it's a physical thing, you guys. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, though, oftentimes there's some kind of emotional piece to it. Your body is always telling the truth. That's what I've learned. My body always tells the truth. My mind, not always. My spirit, yes, My mind, not all the time, and I'm a heady person, and so I have to sift through a lot of things sometimes, and then my body, she will tell me the truth. And I've learned to really appreciate that because I am a feeler and I do tend to kind of feel my way through the world. And so when there's something going on in my body, I really try to pay attention. And sometimes I can figure it out on my own. Sometimes I have other people to help me, whether it's a body worker or my mentor or whatever, because sometimes you can't see your own stuff, right? And a couple books, I didn't have my other one because I give it away all the time. But a book that I really, 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 really love, that for me, I really like this book for a bunch of different reasons. One, because I like doing energy work and it really gives you some ideas on how to do that. It also works with the emotional piece and it gives you some different things on what's going on with your body. So if it's something that is fascinating to you or you want to learn little bit more, this is the book that I would suggest, Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Segal. I really, really like her work. I did do a flash sale today because I can order a bunch of books and ship them out to you guys if you're interested. And what I did was put these two things together as a package. And I just did a discount on both. And so you can get the ABCs of Intuition, which is a fun little deck, Secret Language of Your Body, and they're $37, which includes the shipping. So I did put a link up for the flash sale. If that's something that you guys are interested in, grab it. I do have to order another batch of books, but it doesn't take very long. It might take just a titch longer because of the time of the year. But what I like about this book, and here's the thing, I'm not going to answer all your questions on what's going on with your body today because we'll be here all day. Get the book, okay? But what it will do is it goes through the different parts of your body. It goes through like your nervous system. It goes through like what your back, your bladder, your brain, goes through immune system. It goes through so much stuff and what it might be affecting. So the other side of this, though, I think this is a great place to start, right? And get some basics. And the other side of it, though, is to also listen to your own intuition if you have something going on with your body. So I know the things that we're taught or what I've been taught. And I also encourage my clients before I tell them what I've been taught. I always am like, what's it saying to you? Tell me what your body is saying. Why do you think that pain is there? What does your body say to you? Because you want to have a relationship and talk to your body as much as you want to be really open to everything else going around. Okay. Your body and your head they do have different voices. I don't know how else to say that. And Peggy just wrote, I have a hard time deciding if it's my body or just my head. And this is what helps you decipher it, is you start to pay attention to how your body is reacting to whatever you're thinking about. So sometimes if I hear women that have a lot of bladder infections, I'm like, well, what are you pissed off about? Because if your bladder is being affected, you just might be pissed off about something. To me, that just makes sense. Energetically, it just makes sense. Now, other people might have a bunch of bladder infections and maybe it's a completely different message for them that makes more sense. I would go with their intuition over what I think feels right for me. Does that make sense? You always want to follow your own intuition. So sometimes people will, trying to think of some examples, sinus infections. A lot of people get sinus infections and they're like, oh my God, what's going on? What I've learned through this book and Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, that sinus infections and that kind of stuff up here, kind of that congestion, is usually irritation with yourself or somebody close to you, like a spouse, a friend, a parent, someone that you spend a lot of time with. And when you start to journal out your emotions around it, sometimes that can just open things up a little bit. Now, I believe in medicine. I believe in Western and Eastern. I do both. Sometimes people need medications. I am not against medications. I'm really not. I do think that people often are over medicated, but again, you can get to know your body that if you're taking meds and they just aren't feeling right for you, you can talk to your doctor about it. So I am not one that's going to say, don't ever go to the doctor. I don't believe in that. If I got shit going on, like, I'm going to get some help with it. But I do think that what I've done over the last 10, 15 years, I really try to look at the emotion. I really try to look at what's going on in my life. I try to see how it might be affecting my body and where it's affecting my body. And then I usually will do like supplements or go to my chiropractor or whatever. I do try to do a lot of those pieces first. And then if I'm still struggling, I go to the doctor. It just depends. If I have pneumonia, I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to get on some medication. So it doesn't mean though that I would absolutely go in to the doctor if I need medication, and I'll do my emotional work tied to it. Okay, does that make sense? The link might not show up yet, CJ, until I get offline. I think it doesn't show up when I do it. So it'll be in the comments. I'll make sure that I post it again, okay? All right, let's see. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, I have heard of that book too. I have not read it yet, but I keep hearing about it, so I probably need to read it. Kathy says, your body keeps score. That, and I have heard several people talk about that book too. So I think that the point of today's video is for you guys to be aware that a lot of the aches and pains might have a secondary cause to them, which is your emotional health. And you got to think about, if you're tired all the time and all you say and all you affirm is, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm tired all the time. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, you're affirming that and your body's going to follow that. And so affirmations are fantastic. I love using affirmations. I am a big affirmation girl. I have been for years. It very much helped my mindset. Because I used to tell a lot of really unhealthy stories in my head, and I would affirm it over and over and over and over and over. And I was like, wow, I really do affirm that. I affirm that all the time. And so I've had to shift my mindset, which helps my body feel better. So right now, I have this amazing trip planned with a group of people. We're going to go walk the Camino de Santiago, which is in Spain, and it's a pilgrimage walk. Some people know what it is. Some people have never heard of it. And we're going to walk over 100 miles. And my brain immediately was like, how in the fuck are you going to do that? Because I'm in okay shape, not in that kind of shape. So I'm like, oh my God. So when I'm walking, I absolutely need to work on what my mind is saying, because it's a long ways. You got to start training, right? And it's really helping me see the different things I say about my body. Like, oh, I can't walk that far. How am I going to do that? It's going to be so hard. And if I keep affirming how hard it's going to be, damn right, it's going to be hard. And it doesn't mean that there's not effort to it. It doesn't mean any of that. But if I prepare enough, yeah, there's going to be effort to it, but it doesn't have to be like miserably hard, which is what the story is in my head. And so you really want to work on what your mind is saying versus what your body is reacting to. When emotional things happen, your body's going to react to it. Like when I had a ton of people pass away in a very short time a couple years ago, and I really had a lot of stuff with pneumonia and bronchitis and things like that, because this tends to be the area where that grief sits for me. And it also does say some of that stuff in the body books is grief really kind of sits in your lungs and stuff. And I really had to work on releasing that grief, whether it was talking it out, whether it was journaling, whether it was just allowing myself to cry, whatever it might be, because it was so much death all in one time. Like I didn't know how to manage it. And I had a cough for months and all sorts of stuff. And so that energy was just kind of sitting there, and it just needed to be worked on over and over and over. And sometimes it does need to be worked on over and over and over. Especially if it's emotional stuff that maybe ties back to maybe when you were a kid. When my dad was passing, my dad got sick and it took 3 years before he passed. He was really sick a few times. We definitely thought we were going to lose him a few times. And my right hip hurt the whole time. And it was just because I didn't really want to watch it. I didn't want to see it. It was very sad. I resisted a lot of it, all that kind of stuff that comes up when you're walking through that kind of stuff. And I had a client that was dying and I had friends that were dying. Like, it was just, like I said, a lot. And we knew intuitively that hip pain was tied to my dad. And what was so fascinating about it was the day he died, that hip pain went away. And I was like, that is fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me. And so to me, the body stuff, the more that I learn about it, the more fascinating it is. Now, it can be annoying too. I know body stuff can be annoying. That pain and all that kind of stuff, it definitely can be annoying. And when you can start to use your tools, it also helps you understand why it's happening or what's happening. And sometimes that can ease yourself a little bit so you're not fighting everything. I remember when after my grandma died, I had like pneumonia, 3 times in a row. It just wouldn't quite go. And I was taking meds and I was mad and la, la, la. And I remember Sonny was like, could you just take the medicine and go watch a movie? Like, stop fighting the medicine. And I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. And so once I settled in, then things are able to heal again. Okay. We don't mind if you're late, hon, as long as you show up. Kimberly says, hello, just had a massage, holding on to so much. Time for a walk outside and your back is happy that it's supporting it. Yeah. And that's actually a great example. Kim had a lot of back stuff. And when we started really digging into the energy of it, because when I do readings for people, I can kind of dig into the energy of it. It really was about feeling supported and strength, supporting herself. Maybe different people in her life not supporting her the way she wished they would, but she wasn't speaking it. Like, there's a million different ways. But as she keeps adding these great tools and doing different things for self-care, her back is really completely shifted. It's so fun to watch. Oh, Toby says my grief settles in my lower back. Yep. And lower back often is about support. It can be about money too, but a lot of times it's about support. Yep. Donna said the body stuff. Ugh, totally resonates though. Why we feel a certain way. Yep. The body stuff can be frustrating. I really do think it can be. And as you work through it, it can really be freeing, because once you know, all you need to do is figure out which tools help you the most. And then those things are going to be the things that help you walk through things. Like, I know stretching is very important for me. I know moving. I got to move, even if it's just a walk. I also know I run a little aggressive. I'm always a little mean. And I know having a little bit more aggressive workouts is good for me. Whether it's skiing is great for me. I love skiing because it takes a lot of my energy. That's a good workout for me. Boxing probably would be. I have never tried boxing, but probably would be. I know walking is great for me. It's great for my physical body. It's great for my head. It's great for my mind. I know that being outside, no matter what the temperature is, really good for me. So I have good winter gear. I always tell people, if you live in the Midwest, get some good gear, because you can be out almost every single day of the year if you have the right clothes. People don't always love that, but you can be. Yep. Bike riding, all that kind of stuff. Yep. Carry everything in my shoulders and neck. And I would ask, that's a great example. So let's say, you carry a lot of stuff on your back and your neck. I would get into kind of a really quiet, kind of meditative state. And I would ask, like, whose shit am I carrying? Is it just mine or is it somebody else's? Because a lot of times when I do readings, I will tune in and, like, I will see all the big boulders of other people's shit that you're carrying, other people's burdens, things like that. And so we'll do an exercise where I teach you how to move that energy out. But yeah, I would ask whose it is and how can I move it? Yep. Oh, that's interesting, Chandel. She said she had plantar fasciitis off and on for years until I finally left my ex and stepped into myself. Yep. Yep. And that's about support too. Whether it's good feet support, supporting yourself, stepping into your power, taking a step forward. Yep. Feet and knees are interesting. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. It's a great way to start to. What I like about the book is it's a great way to start to be aware, like, oh, my back, that's what that usually is about. Let me tune into that and see if that's what it is for me. Because sometimes it might not be what the book says, but that's when your intuition can be like, oh, actually it's about blah blah blah. And I really want people to learn how to talk to their bodies and use their intuition. So I just did a space clearing certification class, and it was so funny because we just had a live to follow up on it, and we were talking, and one of the things I always ask is I'll be like, oh, I have this and this, what do you think it is? And I'm like, well, did you ask your body? Did you ask your spirit team? Did you at least try to ask? Did you try to quiet your mind and ask? But you want to get to know your physical body. Like, our spirits live in our body. This is your spirit's home. So someone told me, I can't remember who said it one time, but it just stuck with me. They're like, do you have a nice house for your spirit to live in? And I was like, gosh, not always. Not always. And so I started cleaning up my house. And now I think my spirit has a great house to live in. But it also helped me really become friends with my body no matter what size I am. I'm not a tiny little girl, but I'm in good shape, but I got some curves. Oh, well, like, I don't think about that very often. I think about being strong. I think about being in shape enough to be able to walk this walk, keep up with skiing, all that kind of stuff. And that goes up and down depending on what's going on in life and how consistent I am and all that kind of stuff. But I don't have the hate talk anymore, because why would I? It's the home of my spirit. I don't need to hate it anymore. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. This Jesse King medium, total scam, blocking them, getting rid of them. That's what I'm talking about, friends. Ignore those ones, please. Okay. I think I caught it right away too. Okay. So when you have stuff going on with your body, you need to learn how to quiet your mind. That's why we talked about meditation yesterday. When you learn how to meditate and you learn how to quiet your head down, you can hear that information from your body a lot easier. If your head is really, really busy, it's going to be really, really hard to discern by what you're making up in your head and what you're actually feeling. And so another exercise that a lot of us do and have been taught is write a letter to your body, anything that you need to say to it, then let your body write a letter to you. You might be surprised what shows up. And it's kind of like free writing. You just write and write and write and write and write. And then you ask your body, what do you need to say? And then let your body write back to you. And a lot of people, quite honestly, think their body's going to be mad at them. And very often that is not the case. We picked our bodies from spirit, and our spirit wanted to live in this body. So you might as well become friends with it. And I know a lot of women are not friends with their body. And once they become friends with their body, boy, does life get much different, because you don't have all that hate talk in your head. You don't have all that critical talk in your head. You don't have all that judgy talk in your head. You are who you are. And it takes a lot of that judgment out of the way, which is nice. All right. Okay. Questions on how emotions affect your body. This is where writing can be really, really helpful. It can be really helpful to see different kinds of doctors. I know not everyone can afford to do that. But I have naturopaths that I see. I have a chiropractor that I love. I see him all the time. His wife does a lot of supplemental stuff. It was really funny. Like, Foster had mono a couple years ago. When he was in school his senior year, he got mono, and his work and school both needed a doctor's note because I think he had missed a bit of school. And we went, and I was like, "Wow, we should go get you adjusted and see Stacy and stuff." And he laughed, and he's like, "Yeah, but I need a doctor's note, so we got to go to the doctor." And the doctor's looking at his file, and he's like, "Has this kid really not been to the doctor in like 6 or 7 years?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, he really hasn't, because we stay healthy. And one of the reasons we stay healthy is because we talk about what's going on. And my kids know how to let themselves feel better when they're sick. All three of my boys do illness so similar, and they move through it so much faster than I do. It's the funniest thing to watch because they do not put other people's needs first. They go and they lay down and they sleep and they do what they need to do, and they're usually over it in a couple days. I fight through it, and I try to keep working, and I keep doing this and I keep doing that, so it takes me longer. And so they've really taught me about self-care. Like, when you're not feeling well, stop, sit down, go to sleep, take a nap, rest. It's really fascinating. Oh, you could be, Karen. Yep, you might be taking on some of their worry. Especially if they can't find anything. If you go in and they're not finding anything, you might want to think more of the energy and emotional side of things, because maybe you're holding on to something energetically. Yep, tap into it, hon. Yep, that's great, Kathy. She said a friend of mine was raised with, when she said a personal negative, her mom would then tell her, "Okay, say 3 good things about yourself." I think that's great. I think, I tend to get headaches when I'm feeling a lot of pressure, or if my brain is tired and I'm not listening to it. Like, sometimes if I have a headache and I just close my eyes for a few minutes and I just take a brain rest, a lot of times it will move through. Sometimes sometimes it is you haven't drank enough water. Sometimes it is a weather thing. I do get headaches from the weather sometimes too. But I do think sometimes it's a pressure thing. Ooh, that's cool, Lindsay. I hear this a lot. Alicia says, "I love my body. I do not love the changes my body is going through at this age. Are the pain symptoms from that or something completely different? It's very challenging." I'm 50, so I have a lot of change happening too. It's happened for a few years, and it's so irritating, I must say. If you're in menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, all that kind of stuff, I think it's a variety of things, which is why you really want to get to know your body. My doctor kind of laughs at me because I'll go in and I'll be like, "It's this, 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 and this." And she's like, "Okay, why are you here?" I'm like, "Because I need to get the meds from you because I can't get them for myself." But I'm very aware what's going on in my body, which helps me know, is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Usually both. Is it hormones? So I've had to go through and find a doctor that finally was open to testing my hormones and stuff like that. So to me, it's a mix of things. And I honestly think that it's kind of on purpose, so women start to pay attention to their entire body, mind, and spirit, not just the physical side, but usually there's an emotional side. We are all shifting what's going on in our life. Not everyone has children at 50 that are maybe graduating high school or moving out of the house or anything, but a lot do. So that's a big shift in life. A lot of people have hormonal changes, women that start even as early as 35, 40. And so I think it's a lot of different things. And I think it forces us to look at all the different things, because women tend to not give ourselves any self-care. Maybe we'll get our nails done. Maybe we'll get a massage once in a while, but we don't really look at taking care of ourselves. And so I do think when those changes come, I think it's an opportunity, quite honestly, to get to know yourself a little bit better and to pay attention to all parts of yourself. And as frustrating as it can be, There are so many different options on how you can help yourself. And I will say a lot of the things that help me are more from my spiritual side of world than the medical side of the world. I still see my medical doctor, just went in yesterday, but meditation helps me. Exercise helps me. My diet helps me. Expressing myself helps me. Learning how to journal and burn has helped me. Having a mentor that I can express myself, just her and I can tell her anything, which is awesome. So having emotional support, my husband's not going to be that good at emotional support for some of this stuff. He just isn't. You guys have all seen Eli. He's a good man, but he's not always there for that. So I've had to create a different support system over here that helps me with all of that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? Because I know it can be really frustrating and you think you're crazy. You just think, oh, I'm 50, I'm crazy now, and you don't think as well. And like all this kind of stuff happens. But I do think that it forces us into self-care, and you can either be forced into it or you can welcome it. Okay. Baby steps, a book like this would be great. Seeing a naturopath would be great. Getting your hormones tested would be great. If your doctor doesn't do it, find one that does. And I know a lot of that has some costs and stuff like that to it. So do the best you can with what you have. And there's lots of information online where you can be like, oh, I wonder if that would work for me. And you can tune in to see if that's going to be something that is actually going to feel good for you. When I do supplements, I actually see someone to do my supplements. And when she's going through them, I'm really paying attention to how my body feels when she's deciding what I should take. And I'm always in agreement with her because she does like muscle testing for me, but I actually pay attention to how my body feels. And I'm like, oh, that one's a yes. I said, did you get a yes? And she goes, yep. And then we know the dose. But that's taken me a long time to get used to my body in that way. So you want to become friends with your body. On another live the other night, they called baby steps energy steps. Ooh, I like that. See, I like that. Because I do. I think sometimes it's energy steps. Sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes it's the medical world. Sometimes it's the spiritual world. Sometimes it's medication. Sometimes it's oils. There's a million different things on how you can treat yourself. But I think you got to be open to all of it. I know a lot of people in the spiritual world, and they are so against medication and they're so against all that stuff. And I think that's really a dangerous thing to say. Because there are some people that it's a chemical imbalance within them, and the medication actually balances that chemical. Do I think there's problems with some of the medication stuff, blah, blah, blah? Yes, I do. But intuitively, I know what I want to take and what I don't want to take. And that's my choice, right? But I think sometimes spiritual people really are very hard-edged on that. And that is always really, I don't know, I just think it's dangerous. I think some people need meds, and I think it's good for them. And it might not be good for you, but it might be good for them. So I have very little judgment on that kind of stuff. But I do think you need to know what's going to work well for you at all times. At least try it and know like, oh, this does not feel right. Something's off. Then at least you can get the information that you need. Okay. All right. Any other questions about our body? So this is the book again. Again, if I get some people ordering it, I will order another batch. I try to have it at my expos and stuff too, but The Secret Language of Your Body, Ina Segal. I actually like the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. That's another great book. I would get the pretty copy. She's had it reprinted several times. But I would get the pretty copy because it tells about her story too. And I think it's fascinating how she healed herself from cancer and different things like that. So I think that's awesome. That would be another book that I would absolutely suggest. Okay. All right. Any other questions, my friends? So let me see if I have it handy. Tomorrow, I believe, is the day we are going to talk about angels. So I know several of you had asked before that you wanted to get taught some different things about angels. So in the meantime, have a little talk with your body. See what she has to say to you, or her or him. See what she has to say to you. And, I do a lot of energy clearings on people. I do a lot of readings where people want me to kind of tune in. I'm not a medical intuitive, but I'm really good about, I can tune into some of the energy side of things. I can tune into the emotional side of things. And that kind of stuff to me is really helpful. So those are things we can do in session as well. Okay. The Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Segal, and then You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I always give it away. So I need to buy another one, but You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And I would do the colorful copy. She's got several reprints, but I really like the colorful one because it tells her story of her cancer. Hello, hello. Yep. It is a really good book. I really like it. And it's something you can read it cover to cover, or you can just look up your symptom. And then what I like about the Secret Language of Your Body one is a lot of stuff that I actually teach. Is she teaches you how to energetically clear it, and she gives such great directions on it, whether it's an anger thing or it's a grief thing or a shame thing. Like, it's just a really great, like, usable book. I really, really like it. The cover is very colorful, CJ, on the Louise Hay book. The cover is really colorful. It's like all rainbow colors. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you today. I got to get back to clients. I'll be back tomorrow at noon. Remember that if you've signed up for the emails, that will come on Friday, and I will announce surprise winners in the email. So get yourself signed up for that. If you have not already, there's several links in my page, or like on my Facebook page, and we'll put the links in the comments for you as well. Okay. All right, friends, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow at noon Central Time, and we're going to talk about the angels. Okay. All right, guys. See you later.